Hey, Allison Verhalen here with AV Writing Services, and today I want to talk about how to write the perfect bio. It is super important. It is usually towards the end of the buyer journey, which makes it, less important for SEO purposes, which is probably how I missed talking about this earlier. But it's super important for closing the deal, right? Normally someone gets to your bio when they already know a little bit about you. They're interested, they're looking for more information. They're going to go to your bio to get that information. And what they see there is going to be really crucial to either closing the deal or getting to the next step in closing the deal. So we are going to talk about the perfect way to write your bio, which I know is really hard for a lot of us. I know it's something I still struggle with. Like, what's interesting to other people? Most of us, we can talk all day if you ask us about someone else's accomplishments, but when you ask us about ourselves, especially women, we tend to clam up, right? We're like, what, me? I don't know. What do you want to know about me? What's so interesting about me? So we have to let go of that and figure out how to treat this like any other piece of marketing material, because it really is marketing material. So that's what I'm going to help you with today. So again, I talk about this almost every time. Identify your target audience. If you have not already done so, you really need to understand who your target audience is and what they're looking for. What are they looking for in someone who provides whatever it is you provide? Because knowing what they're looking for, what search terms they're using, what really matters to them, what their pain points are, what their hobbies and interests are. When they get to your bio, it's usually they know you have the credentials. They just want to know a little bit more about you as a person. They want to get that know, like, and trust factor. So that's where you have to provide that in the bio. So this is where it really helps to know a little bit more about your target audience as people rather than just as numbers or as people with certain problems that you're solving. Obviously, you are solving a problem for them, but there are a bunch of people out there, and different kinds of people who have that problem and different kinds of people who solve that problem for them. So why should they work with you? A lot of the time, it's going to come down to whether or not they like you as a person. So if you can exhibit some evidence that you have the same hobbies and interests that they do, or that at least you understand their hobbies and interests. Maybe you have pets, they have pets, you're a dog lover, they're a dog lover, whatever it might be. That is what's really going to draw them in and close the deal. Because again, we work with people we know, like, and trust. So you really need that factor in your bio. So one of the things that can make bios a little tricky is that we put them all over the place, right? This can go on your website, on your speaker sheet, on all of your social media platforms. If you are a member of a professional organization, you probably have a bio on that website. And each of these platforms probably has its own rules. Obviously, for your website, you can make up whatever rules you want. But if you're an employee or a franchisee, maybe there are certain rules that you have to abide by, even when putting the bio on that website. Social media websites all have their own rules and regulations you have to abide by, and the same goes for the professional organization. So first and foremost, check those requirements. Do you have a word count? Are there certain things you're allowed to say, certain things you're not allowed to say? Check those requirements first and foremost. Check out the competition. If there are other people on that platform who provide what you provide, then absolutely look through what they're saying on their website or in their bio, because that will give you an idea of what is allowed and what is not allowed on that particular platform. And again, it will help you set yourself apart from the competition, because when you know what they're saying and you say, yeah, that's great, but that's not quite what I do, or that's not quite the audience that I serve, that can help you figure out your messaging to separate yourself from the competition so that you really stand out. So you do want to list your credentials in your bio, but it's not the first thing you want to do, because again, usually by the time people get to your bio, maybe they are looking for your credentials, but most of the time they already know that you know what you're doing. They're just, again, they're looking for that know, like, trust factor. So yes, list your credentials, but not right away unless you're super crunched for a word count. If you have like a tweet is like the entire bio you're allowed, then maybe go straight into what your credentials are. But I always recommend starting with something a little more personal, like how did you get into the business? Why did you choose this business over anything else? What do you love about your job? That's the kind of information that's really going to draw them in and engage them and make them want to know more about you. And then you go into your credentials a little bit later in the bio. Talk about your goals and dreams. People need to know what you've already accomplished in order to buy from you, but they want to know about your goals and dreams. Again, I don't know how many times I can say it in one video, but it's about the know, like, and trust factor. And when they know that you're ambitious and you have big dreams and you want to accomplish all these things, and they know why you went into this business and they know what you love about this business, that's what's going to convince them that they want to work with you, that you are the person who can help them with this particular problem they have. So go ahead and talk about those goals and dreams. Talk about how you got started. Talk about what your dreams were when you started. Maybe your dreams have changed. You can talk about that too, because almost everyone can relate to that. So talk about that, get a little personal. Branding is also an integral part of everything you do. So if you have a tagline, whether it's personal and or professional, use that somewhere in your bio, whether it's at the beginning, the end, somewhere in the middle. You want to make sure you are branding yourself. Even if you are an employee rather than an entrepreneur, you still need to brand yourself. You need that personal branding to help, again, help you be consistent, help people understand that you know what you're doing and that you are the go-to person for this particular problem they have. So make sure that you don't have to copy your bio from each platform, because again, like I said, there are different rules usually for each platform, and each platform is a little bit different, right? Someone's Twitter bio is going to be different from their LinkedIn bio because they're different platforms. Different audiences are going to be on those platforms, so they're looking for something different. So that makes sense. But the basics of what you're trying to convey should always be there. So again, that tagline, that logo is always a really great example of that. I tend to use the same photo of myself everywhere I go. Obviously, my looks haven't changed much, but it does help to just have that one photo that anytime someone needs that photo, I know exactly what photo it is, where it is, I can pull it up right away. So, and again, it's super easy as far as branding myself. Do your keyword research. So like I said, people are not necessarily Googling bios most of the time, unless they're Googling how to write a bio and maybe they're looking for inspiration. The bio does tend to come up later in the buyer journey. Usually it's when they already know who you are. They're just looking for more information about you. Maybe they found you on social media. Maybe you have some shared connections. They want to know a little bit more about you, so they go to your bio, that kind of thing. So I do still recommend having your keywords in order and sprinkling those throughout, just as a healthy content marketing practice. It's not super important for your bio. The only thing I would recommend as far as an SEO perspective is if you are a member of a professional organization or maybe a larger company and there are a ton of employees and people can search for you on that website, that's when you might want to get your keywords in there, because then maybe they're not searching for you specifically. Maybe they're searching for someone who provides something specific, or they're looking for someone in a certain geographical area, in which case you're going to want to make sure that those keywords are in your bio so you show up in the right searches. Same with some professional organizations. Some of those professional websites will have categories of people who provide certain things. So if you provide a certain set of products or services and someone else in your company or someone else from another company who provides something similar to what you provide, they're in a slightly different category. A lot of people who search those websites will go straight to a certain category to find what they need. So you want to make sure you're showing up in the right category. Part of that is going to happen on the back end. So if you're in charge of the website, make sure that you are in the correct category. If you're not in the right, if you're not working on the back end of the website, contact whoever is to make sure that they're getting you in the right category with your bio. So that is going to be super important. And again, keywords can play a role in that too, sometimes by making sure that you have the right keywords in your bio. That can help make sure that you show up in the right category or categories. It's totally fine to show up in multiple categories if you provide a variety of different things. But again, you want to make sure that you are showing up in the right categories. Finally, like I said, it's all about the know, like, trust factor. So get a little personal, not too personal. This is the internet. Remember that everyone can see this information. So absolutely talk about your pets, your hobbies, your favorite movies and or books. You can talk about your pets. You can talk about your kids if you have kids. Again, remember, this is the internet. So don't get too personal. Don't show photos of your kids. Maybe avoid talking about your kids' names or even their genders. But people love hearing that you have kids and hearing funny kid stories. That is super engaging, especially to other people who have kids. So that is always an option. But again, remember that you don't want to put too much of your personal information out there. I always recommend, for example, putting a photo out there. That's actually my next tip, is to make sure that you get your images in there. But maybe you don't want to for privacy reasons. So at least have your logo. Even the logo is super impersonal. I would put at the very least an avatar that looks like you, which can be great because that can show what you think you look like, right? And that can be more revealing a lot of the time than what we actually look like. So, and those are just fun. So I highly recommend those. And finally, check out the competition, right? What are other people writing in their bios if they're providing the same products or services or related products or services to what you're providing? That can be super helpful as far as getting an idea of what people are looking for. So that is it. Those are all of my tips for how to write the perfect bio. If you're looking for more content like this, you can like and subscribe. I have a bunch of videos. You can check out my website, which is the website is avwritingservices.com. My email, if you want to reach me directly, is info@avwritingservices.com. That is it for me. Have a great week and happy marketing, everyone.